Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know about tailoring and tailoring specializations here in the War Within. Now this is get pretty complex because there are multiple ways to go about this, and best is very, very relative towards the type of crafter and the type of profession you want to be. So keep that in mind, and I will do my best to explain what I think are 2 or 3 of the best possible paths that you can go down. But before we get into the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Everything you guys do helps my channel grow, helps me get discovered, and helps me help as many people as possible, which is the entire point of my channel. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So the very first thing that you guys need to know is profession knowledge. This is the key to every tailoring thing that you need to do, and there are a few things in the War Within that you can go out and do in order to get them. There are 8 profession treasures for every single profession within the zones. Usually it's 2 per zone, but you can look up these treasures very easily, go out and get them, and that is 24 free skill points that you can go and acquire. I would highly recommend that you do that first before you touch professions at all on any character. Now the next thing that you can do is here in Dornegal, you can come to this location right here at coordinates about 58-55 to the Crafters Enclave, and with your Artisan's Acuity you can go here and you can buy these exceptional researches for each profession. Now there are 3 of them and they do go up with each, but once you do it you can get quite a lot. There is an entry-level quest here that you can do that will give you like 350 I believe, and then you can buy the 200 one, you can learn it, and then you can buy the other one with that as well. So that gives a good brush as well. So you'll then be at 34 points by literally not even touching anything. And then there's a final vendor here in Ankahet, and it is down here in the city, and you will go to your profession trainer usually in this northern side of the area, and they will sell you a pamphlet that will learn you knowledge. I believe it's 10 to 15 knowledge, and that will give you it for 550 cash. So those are the ways to get profession knowledge just in the world with books. You will also have a weekly at the Enclave that I just went to that will give you 2 more, and it's just to complete some crafting orders and stuff. Apparently patron orders are going to become a thing. I'm not entirely sure what these are and how you do this, but they are a thing right now, and you can craft things for someone. So like this dude gives you this and you will get a bag, and you will also get some accruity in order to do this. However, you need to provide gleaming shards and exquisite weaver cloth bolts, and then I'm not sure what's in the bag, but it will give you some artisan's acuity. But this is a great way to do your daily, and as you can see here, you'll be doing this order and it will give you something like this, as well as some acuity. So these are important things to note. You can do them. You can also make an alt on the same server and send the orders to yourself if you do not want to do those patron orders. But that is pretty much it for the basics of the crafting, how to get started, what you need. And as always with every profession, you also need to get profession gear. I would highly recommend that you get this gear depending on the specialization you go, but the stat breakdown is essentially your resourcefulness is you'll use less resource, crafting speed makes it faster, and then ingenuity will refund your concentration, and concentration is a new mechanic here. It slowly goes up over time, but if you were to use concentration, as you can see, this is just an example, it pretty much fills out the bar that you are on for the level. So if I were to use level 3 materials, I could then use concentration, and I would probably get this to level 4 or even a level 558 craft. So it just really depends on your gear, your skill, and a lot of variables with that. And then whether or not you want multi-craft or ingenuity depends on the spec. I don't really think crafting speed is something to really focus on at all. You just get it on certain pieces that can't be spec towards, And there's also a consumable that you can get that will increase your ingenuity. I'd show you it, but the auction house is down currently, so it makes it a little hard to do that. So anyway, those are most of the basics, getting set up, all the stuff that you should just prep work, and you can have the skill. The next thing is to go into specializations. So we have 4 specializations here with tailoring, and essentially you have your basic one, which is textile treasures. This is where I think every tailor should start, and we'll talk about that more in a moment. Then we have threads of devotion, which is making these epic pieces of gear or some crafting pieces as well. So you can go down this path if you want to make best pieces of armor and be a renowned crafter for making those types of pieces. This is very specific, very specialized. Eventually, by the end of the expansion, you might be able to fill this out and be able to make every piece, but for right now, it's pretty specialized at the beginning. Then we have From Dusk Till Dawn, and this is to make some very powerful pieces of gear, like the Dusk Weave or Light Weave, depending which way you go for Dawn Weave or Dusk Weave tailoring. And then you can make these bolts to have a timer on them. So this is a way to make passive income because you're just utilizing your time-based cooldown, similar to like Mooncloth in Classic WoW, something like that. So it's just something to keep in mind and be wary of, and you can go into all of these to do that if you wanted to. Then the next one is Quality Fabric. This is the line if you wanted to make a ton of bolts and be making a bunch of cloth. So utilizing this, you can make a ton. If you go into like weaving and unraveling, this would be a spec that you would focus on making some of these bolts, like the weaver cloth bolts and exquisite weaver cloth bolts, as well as unraveling your weaver cloth into some decent weaver cloth. So that is where that comes into play, and it would be a spec that you would go if you wanted to do that. I would highly recommend that you do Quality Fabric to 5, so you unlock your, or sorry, you would do 5 so you learn your sub-spec, and then I would go into weaving and unraveling if that is what you wanted to do. Then Spell Thread lets you make the enchant for people, and then additional embroidery allows you to embroider polishing cloths and stuff, which is finishing reagents for crafting, which is an also sub-spec that you could go into. So my plan, and what I would highly recommend, that everyone starts with textile treasures. The biggest reason for this is because they changed how cloth works in the War Within. Cloth drops only come from tailors. You don't get it from humanoids. Not everyone is getting their cloth. You have to be a tailor in order to get cloth. So I would highly recommend that everyone goes textile treasures and you max this out, because this will give you the most cloth that you can get, and you'll need to use your cloth to make stuff. Otherwise, you're going to be cutting in deeply to your profits and what you can possibly get. Then less is more is multi-crafting. So if you are a bolt spec, multi-craft chance is really nice. And then extra threads is resourcefulness. So that would be using less materials and having a chance to save some mats. So those are to use at any point. And then ingenuity is the perfect loot, and as you can see, that is what I'm spec'd into, and this is to use that concentration skill to the best of your ability. So if you're trying to make high-end gear, that is what I would recommend going. So while you do not have to go into this side of the tailoring tree, it is highly recommended, otherwise you're going to be spending a ton of gold to get to those points. Now, what I'm going here is Threads of Devotion to then make some of these epic pieces of gear. I don't necessarily know which one I'm going to, but I would recommend filling up this because it allows you to make cloth armor, and then just down the way for whichever one you want to go to, I would just pursue that and go points into that. It really just depends what you want to do. If you're actively playing the character, you're going out there and blasting, this is definitely the path I would make and recommend doing. Inscription and enchanting are also good to pair with this build if you are on the character that is actually going out there and getting things. So just there is a ton of different specs that you can go. It really depends on how passive or how active you want to be. The most passive one is going Dusk Till Dawn and making the Dawn Weave and the Dusk Weave bolts. the more active one of just sitting here at the it's like an active AFK one, so you could sit here and if you got specialized enough, you could just simply buy all of the cloths that you wanted to make and just sit here and print the gear. And it is very important, depending on the specialization you go, that you match your gear to this. So like I have ingenuity here, but I could very easily have resourcefulness or crafting speed on this as well. It just depends on what I am going for and what you are doing with it, as well as you could put multi-craft on it too. So it just depends what you're going with. So I hope I explained that, the 3 possible paths you can go. I hope you guys understand that, and that's pretty much it for tailoring and everything you guys need to know. If there's any questions, anything you'd like to add, if you think I'm wrong, tell me in any way. I love having those types of discussions. But I truly hope you enjoyed this tailoring specialization guide, and until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey you. Yes you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.